20 years ago, Muslim Sheikh Umar Mulinde left Islam when he became convinced that Jesus was the Messiah. His life would change forever. This is his story.
I was a beautiful African man, and my face was disfigured. Not because I am a thief, because of my love to Yeshua.
Ugandan pastor Umar Mulinde grew up with a father who had more than 10 wives.
I'm born in a Muslim family. I'm like a child number 52 in my father's family.
Umar never dreamed of leaving Islam until he had a special encounter in 1992.
I met a man who was preaching Christ from the Quran and the Bible, and my life was touched to hear how he promotes Jesus, quoting Quranic verses and biblical verses.
But leaving Islam would prove to be difficult for Umar.
I understood the truth, but I failed or I feared to believe because I was afraid of the persecution. I knew what the Muslims would do to me. Because when you convert in Islam, they can kill you. The law of Islam says, وَمَنْ يُرْتَدِّ لِإِنْ دِينِهِ فَاقْتُلُوهُ. Somebody deserts Islam must be killed.
But God was not going to give up on Umar.
I got a dream in the night. I find myself tied on the chains, my hands and my legs, but in the middle of the fire crying. And in the midst of the climax of the scene, I saw myself crying with my fellow other Muslims, Allahu Akbar, but in the midst of the fire. But as I was crying in such a terrible dream, somebody stood on the right side and told me, Islam is leading you to this torture. Repent, be born again, you shall survive.
Umar prayed special Islamic prayers to ward off this dream, but he continued to have the same dream for many weeks, until he was even afraid to go to sleep. And then he remembered what the preacher had told him.
I remembered that the preacher said when you pray anything in the name of Yeshua or Jesus, something can happen. So I prayed that night and I said, Lord, if you are the one God who wants me to be born again, let not this dream come again. So that night I slept like a baby.
The next morning was Resurrection Sunday, and Umar went to church for the very first time.
That day I was born again. But amazingly, immediately as I was coming out of the church, the persecution began.
Umar faced intense persecution after he came to faith from his family and other Muslims as well. Despite it all, he got discipled, he got trained, he became a powerful evangelist, God using him all over Uganda. Then he birthed a church that grew to over 1,000 people, and over 30% of them were ex-Muslims.
I began to testify in small meetings. I went to a Bible college, I was trained, I have a Bachelor of Arts in theology. And then I began ministry on international level in big meetings, in stadiums, and thousands have been giving their life to Yeshua, to Jesus Christ, and I thank God for that. The 24th, that is Christmas Eve of 2011, we had a very powerful, successful meeting where 300 people had converted. Many Muslims gave their life to Jesus Christ. In the Bible, it says one sinner repents, there is a celebration in heaven.
A Christmas celebration was planned for the new believers, but when Umar left his church that night, it was his life that would be changed forever.
As I was going to the car, somebody pretended as a member of my church, and he said, "Hey, Pastor, can you help me?" But I saw this man standing in the dark, and the other one standing near my car, and my heart told me that's the wrong character. So he wanted me to give him the attention of the full face, and I did not do that. I just went straight to open my car, and then he poured a bucket of acid on my face.
Pastor Mulinde was rushed to the hospital, where doctors quickly informed him that he would need to be transferred to another country with better facilities.
The attack was terrible, and these people were still following me. So for security reasons and for medical reasons, we were advised to get a better facility. But then we got a message from one of our friends who is a Jew that Sheba Hospital has offered to treat me for free. And this is one of the best hospitals in the world.
While the Muslims hoped that this was the end of the Umar Mulinde story, really it's just the beginning. Umar continues to recover in Tel Aviv.
There are 4 reasons why they attacked me. 1, because I converted from Islam, so they said I deserve death. 2, because I preach and many Muslims come to change, they convert. And 3, because I promote the love of Israel. And 4, last year in April, they were going to establish Sharia in the constitution of Uganda, and I took a petition in the parliament resisting or demonstrating against the Sharia law. Because we stood against the Sharia, they decided also to kill me.
Pastor Umar believes that God is going to take what the enemy meant for evil and use it for good. He believes that he is to warn us concerning the dangers of radical Islam. If you would like to help Umar and his family with his recovery, we have set up a special page that is on your screen. While Sheba Hospital is treating him free of charge, Ma'oz Israel and our partners are paying for his hotel and meals while he recovers over the next several months.
I thank God that when I was a Muslim, I hated the Jews. And the Muslims, when I got converted, they wanted to kill me. But behold, see now, the Jews have taken care of me and they have treated me free of charge.